Are you dashing through traffic? It's the Thinkware Dash Cam. It's the Thinkware X300 Full HD Dashboard Camera with 3.5-inch LCD touchscreen. Welcome everybody, a Spike Studio product review. This time we're looking at the Thinkware Dash Cam. This is the Full HD X300 model. I'm going to take a look inside the box. We'll jump over to some live testing and then come back and do some quick final recap and review of what we get. So what this is supposed to be is kind of like what you see on police officer cars, right? The actual dash cam that sits there and runs continuously, recording everything that's going on in the traffic and around you in the cars. The idea being is what this camera will do. We'll pull it out. Here it is with a nice LCD touchscreen. What it's supposed to do for you is record in increments of about a minute and store that permanently on there in case of an accident, meaning if it finds out maybe you brake so hard or you got some sort of impact, it'll store that both separately on the SD card that's available inside the box as well as in the internal. So what it's meant to do is kind of like an accident prevention information for you as well. It also has some audio recording for inside the car of what's going on at the time. So first things, what's in the box? We actually have the camera itself. We'll talk about hookups and everything else. Lovely instruction book. Then there's some key pieces that are in here we need to talk about. One, it comes with the SD card and an SD card slot, so you can put it in computers if you want to. It comes with the DC power connector, which most of you are familiar with for your car, of course, that goes to it. This little thing, don't lose it. What this is it lets you take the microSD storage card, slip it into the end, and plug it into the USB on any computer. So that's a big part of that. So this little thing, don't lose this. This is a good one because this makes it easier than trying to use a reader for this, definitely. Now, one part I do and don't like. These are clips. What these clips are for is running that immense amount of cord that they provide you, which we'll look at. It's an immense amount of cord. So what you can do is actually run it all the way around the windowsills if you want to. So that makes it possible for you to do as well. Then inside of that, there's a piece of sticky material which you will need. Looks just like that. That is what sticks to the window on the car. Now, that's one thing we want to talk about. I'm going to say it directly to you now. I don't like this. Why don't I like this? This is a permanent mounting for your car. I want to be able to use this dash cam in multiple cars, which means I would love to have something like a clip that hangs over the rearview mirror, so then I could actually record that way. I understand that could block the LCD screen, or maybe a clip that hangs it below the rearview mirror a little bit so it sits underneath. So imagine your rearview mirror and this is underneath. Whatever it is, this is permanently mounted. So that means you have to have a couple of these, and you have to run a couple of these, and I just don't want to move it around. I wish they would come up with a way to have it more portable between cars. Okay, so now that we've had a little bit of rant about that, let's talk about feature and function, and then we're going to jump over right away into some live stuff. Basically what you need to know, there's a power button on the side, controls it. There's no battery in this. It's meant to be heat sensitive as well, so it shuts down if it gets too hot. It's not supposed to be battery mode, so it runs all the time. The SD card goes into the slot on the side. It's a microSD. Make sure we'll pop it out. Get it in the right direction when you put it in there. It's pretty self-explanatory, but don't screw it up if you don't have to. Then on the top, you have the DC in, which is there. You also have a vid in. Now, one of the things you should know about the vid in port is it means you can have another camera that connects to this in the back of your car. For those of you that are conscious about both sides, you want to record it for insurance or whatever, you could have both of them recording to this. So that's very cool, rear camera and front camera. Last one, port for GPS. If you want to start marking GPS information on them, you can do that as well. So I'll tell you what, before we cover anything else on this, let's jump over to some live driving, what the screen looks like, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're live in the car, as you can see. We waited till dusk so we could get nighttime and daytime vision. Couple things real quick. The SD card goes on the side right here. It's a little bitty slot, and that came provided as we showed. The light is on, and of course, do not operate while you're driving is what it says. Well, remember, it's going to take one of your power hookups in your car from your DC voltage. So what we'll do is we're going to get on the road and show some live work with this and then go back to the reviews. So really quick, one of the things I was asked about was, what is the screen? It is a touchscreen LCD. You can get a live view. You can see the files that are on there. You can change all your settings, set dates and times. There's status indicators to let you know about the actual, is this card ready? Is the device itself ready? So before we go into live view and see how some of the recordings work, some people had asked about the interface. We want to make sure we included that as part of the viewing. So I'm going to show you really quick is the incident mode. Right now we're in continuous, we're in live view, it's getting dusk out. But I want to turn this thing to red to show you there was an incident and put into that mode. So I'm just going to bang this real quick. There, it went into incident mode. So right now it thinks that we just had a bump or we had a hard brake or someone hit us, and it's saving this off to the file. So this is part of the incident mode that I was talking about. So one last test that we did that was live, as you can see, we're driving at nighttime, doing a quick test. And the screen itself, the continuous always works, but it doesn't go to night vision mode. The camera itself has some night vision capabilities, but the live screen actually just shows what's going on outside. You're not actually going to see any night vision there on the screen. And after a few moments, this will jump over back into a screen display type mode. It goes dark for you, so you'd have to re-enable the live. So, as you saw and heard real quick, we did some live driving. We looked at the actual screen that's on here. It's all touch screen. It's very easy to manipulate. You have the live continuous mode. You have the ability to record when you want to. If you're going on a country drive and you want to save that forever, better than those 1-minute increments. You can also take snapshots on here, which was really cool. That's all on the interface in the UI. The guide is pretty self-explanatory, tells you what to do. You can also update the firmware by dropping it onto the microSD card. So when you boot this thing up, it sees the new firmware and updates it for you. They update firmware pretty regularly from what I saw on the website. There's actually a recent one that came out after I got my hands on this. So make sure you update the firmware. It always gives you benefits unless someone complains about it. The guide itself will walk you through everything else you need to know. Now, what did we like and what didn't we like? Well, as you saw, there's no real night vision. It does see what your headlights see. It's supposed to see it a little bit better. I thought it was satisfactory. It just recorded what I saw. It did much better in the daylight. As you saw, I also did an impact test. There's sensitivity for all of that. The microphone, the sensitivity for the impact, everything is purely configurable. You can set the date, the time, your time zone, where you are. Everything's built into there. The indicator lights, as you can see, there's a boot up light that tells you, when it's getting started, as well as the lights that tell you when it's doing an impact mode. All that's in there as well. The other part, when you turn the car off, it automatically sees that DC power's cut off and it turns this thing off. And it says, ooh, power's cut, I'm off. Unless you have a DC port, like I do, that's always on. So that means the camera is always on unless you unplug it. So I had to manually unplug this a few times to get it to turn off. What do we think otherwise? Audio in the car is pretty good. It did do full HD. I can tell you each minute segment was about 95 meg in size, so keep that in mind in terms of the size of the card. You can have it overwrite, you could clean the card manually, whatever you want to do with that. It does have a PC viewer software as well as a Macintosh viewer software. The Mac software that they currently have available that's loaded on here ready to go only works with 10.8 and higher of OS X. If you have 10.7 or lower, you're going to have to go get it from them because it's not available on there or on their website. Keep that in mind. They need to put it on the website. Else, I wish they would change the mounting bracket to give me a little more flexibility. I do appreciate, I'm digging through stuff, that they put the clips in here to run the cord all around your car. You can do that for looks, or you can hang it straight down. Either way you want to do. You can hook up the extra cameras to it. You can hook up GPS to it. I imagine all cars in the future are probably going to have something just like this running. You already have backup cameras. I can see them putting front cameras in and saying, if you want an insurance discount, go ahead and load up this camera so we can record everything you're doing. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. It's another product review from us. Hey, please subscribe to the playlist above so you can keep up with all our product reviews. Click the like button below, subscribe to the channel. Please jump through to Amazon. Let them know at least our reviews are helpful. Even if you're not buying it, jump through and say yes that our reviews are helpful. Otherwise, thanks for watching.